There's a very popular term in the Black community. It's called standing on business. It means that you're going to handle your own responsibilities, that you're going to stand on your grind. You're going to stand behind your situations that you've created and handle your own affairs. In this video, we're going to talk about Roland Martin and how he does not stand on business. Roland Martin was confronted by Jamal Green, a Chicago area activist and organizer. And Roland Martin did not stand on business. Run the tape.
Hold on 1 second. No, ain't no. Hold on. I gave you enough pictures. I gave you enough pictures. Yesterday, you tweeted about me. You tweeted and called me dumb yesterday. You called me dumb yesterday.
Okay, one more time, fam. One more time.
Hold on 1 second. No, ain't no. Hold on. I gave you enough pictures. I gave you enough pictures. Yesterday, you tweeted about me. You tweeted and called me dumb yesterday. You called me dumb yesterday.
Now, I got another clip here. It's a slightly different vantage point with Jamal confronting Roland Martin for comments that Roland Martin made, not only on his show, not only on Twitter, but also on his show as well, directly at Jamal Green. So that's important to note. This is in response, Jamal's responding to Roland Martin, calling him out on Twitter, but also calling him out, putting his likeness on the show, and going on a rant about Jamal Green. So here goes the other vantage point.
What you got to say right now? Say what you got to say. Say what you got to say right now. Say what you got to say.
If you look at this picture, it looks like Roland Martin looks like a deer caught in headlights. A deer caught in the headlights being forced to stand on his own business, right? So that's why I was like wondering, what am I going to call this show tonight? I'm going to call it Strictly Business After EPMD, but I also was like, I want to put stand on business. Okay, stand on your business, stand on your square, 10 toes down. Have that same energy that you had when you was talking mess on Twitter. Have that same energy that you had when you was doing your show and you was lighting a brother up, okay? But before I get into my commentary about it, Jamal Green, he put out a video where he explains what happened so people don't have to try to put their own sauce on it. This is his version of events. Check out Jamal Green here.
To know the real narrative and the facts. Number one, Roland Martin is the aggressor here. He came after me publicly. He was paid to do so. I was on Twitter talking about how we need to be critical of these campaigns and make sure that we get policies so that when whoever become president, they don't forget about us. Roland Martin called me stupid, dumb, an idiot, and a fool on his show. I never tweeted at Roland Martin. I never talked about Roland Martin at all. He came to my Twitter page quoting my tweets to call me stupid. And then he did a show about me and he called me a fool. Now, what I did was I went to an event that he was at today and I went to ask for a conversation. My arms was folded. I was not being aggressive and he kept pushing it off, kept trying to leave and not have a conversation with me. And you saw what happened on this video. This, guys, we cannot stand for. We cannot stand for voices to continue to be stumped on because they don't agree with you. I don't have to agree with Roland Martin to be smart. I can have my own views. I'm a grown man. And there's no reason why this man twice his age should be publicly calling me stupid, dumb, and a fool. But when I approach him in public, he has nothing to say to me. You got to do better. And we got to do better to stop supporting these guys who are disrespecting the voices who are doing the actual work.
All right. So you heard his side of the events, man. And give it up for that. I'd like to say a couple things about this because, yeah, I've had my own issues with Roland Martin. And I want you to know this comes from a position of somebody who used to think, wow, there goes Roland Martin. See, maybe unlike this young man here, when I was growing up, Roland Martin was like the guy that you saw and you were like, wow, man, this guy's really excelled. He's really up there speaking truth to power for black folks. There was a handful of black folks that were in media that you could look to like this. There was Tavis Smiley. There was Roland Martin. There was a brother, I think his name was Bradley, a brother on BT. There were a couple brothers, a couple shows, entities and shows that really spoke to the Black experience. And if you're on the outside looking in and you're a young person and you're watching this, you can get the impression that they're speaking on your behalf. Some were, some weren't. Those who were, like Tavis Smiley, had a price to pay. See, when you're speaking strongly for Black people, not for yourself, you're going to have a price to pay because that's how the system works. But at the time, I had no idea that that's how the system worked. You know, you got this idea that everybody's professional, people do their job, they do their jobs to the best of their ability, and everybody's on business. Fast forward like 15 years later, 20 years later or so, I learned that Roland Martin, he ain't the guy you think he is. He's a shield for the Democratic Party. I'm not the only one that feels that way. I'm not all of us in independent media, particularly new Black media, is what we're called, where we're not adhering to the old policies of put as much money in your pocket as possible and blow with the wind and try to extract and pretend to be the go-between between the political structure of the Democratic Party and the people. See, there's a certain class of Black journalists who extract money from the establishment by portraying themselves to be the ones that could get the Black people in line. They can get the Black people to do what they say. They can corral Black people to the polls, or they can calm Black people down. They can throw some dust on the Black folks, the masses of working class Black folks, and have them simmer down and turn down the rhetoric, turn down the temperature. That's something that Roland Martin does. Never have I ever heard Roland Martin turn us up on the establishment. It's always, you need to listen to the establishment. You need to fall in line with the establishment. So those are some of my critiques about Roland. And that's enough of a critique to have. That's a fair representation of how a person can look at Roland, and that would be respectful. But see, Roland never stops there. He doesn't just say, I don't mess with these particular broadcasters because I have a different message. Now, what Roland Martin does is he continuously name calls people. He's got over 1 million viewers. He's got his own app. He's got his own network. Has worked for CNN, TV One, I think the news, another news network. He's been a lot of places, right? He's done a lot of work. Work for a newspaper, I think it was, the Chicago Defender. I'm not sure if that's the name of it, but he often touts his resume. Why would a brother that's that successful at what he does, why would he find the need to dump on up-and-coming people in media that are Black? Why would he find the need to call us out of our names? Idiot, fool, what's this one, Simple Simon, assholes, dumbasses. And he talks this way to working class Black folks. He does this continuously. He has been doing this for a decade at least. Once Roland fell from his lofty perch, once the white folks got done with Roland, once CNN kicked him to the curb, he came down to fight with us because he felt he was above us. He got his ass handed to him by Dr. Umar Johnson. He had his ass handed to him by the brother that's got the school. What's his name? Say young brother's name. But the bottom line is that Roland Martin is very disrespectful. He's very sarcastic, disrespectful, out of line. He goes above and beyond. And then what does he display? He let a woman stand between him and Jamal Green. Now, I met Jamal. I ain't knocking Jamal. Jamal is a grown man, but him and Roland about the same size. Come on. I mean, if I rode up on Roland, I'm 6 foot even, 250. Roland, I can see him being intimidated by my size. okay? Because I'm a much bigger guy than Roland. Roland's a short, pudgy old dude, okay? All right? But Jamal, he about 5'9", 5'8", thin frame. You saw him, good shape, but he a small dude. There is no reason for Roland to be running behind of a black woman in between him just because a man is talking to him. Jamal Green didn't put hands on Roland. Jamal Green didn't threaten him. He said, what was you saying earlier? Look, when we're doing this commentary thing, I can see at times people get hot. People get upset. People say things. I've said things. But there was nothing that I've said during this content that I wouldn't say to the person that I'm talking to. Okay? That's just me. If I was upset and I got out of line, if I met someone like Tariq Nasheed, or if I met brother Jamal Green, if I had a reason to get upset with him about a clip, I would tell him, man, I was heated on that segment. I was very upset with the way you were conducting it or what you did or whatever. Charlamagne, I don't like what you said. So yeah, I said that. We can have a conversation about it. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But see, when you sell wolf tickets, when you call people names, when you dump on people, when you take a shit on people on your bigger platform, and then people roll up on you, you should be able to stand on that. Whatever it is, whether you got a bigger platform or a smaller platform or what have you. My problem with Roland Martin is that there are people that listen to Roland Martin. I would not care about anything that Roland Martin says if I didn't feel like Roland Martin is selling black people out. That's how I legitimately feel about Roland. I don't feel that way about Jamal. I just don't. I don't feel that way about a number of people in the black media space. Black new media, I may disagree with some of them. I'm sure that some of them disagree with me. But I don't feel like they're doing whatever they're doing just for money. I feel like whatever disagreements I had with Phil Scott, I feel like Phil Scott means what he says. He ain't doing it just for money. I feel the sense that if we disagree on policy or strategy, it's coming from a good place. I don't feel that with Roland. Okay? I don't feel that when he is caping for the Democratic Party, when he is corralling black folks, and when black folks are defending him. There were people defending Roland on Twitter. This video I just played, y'all, they were defending Roland, letting a woman stand between him and a man. They were defending Roland, not standing on business, talking all this shit online, all this shit on his show about this man particularly. This wasn't even a conversation about philosophical differences of strategy, differences of the way they should address Kamala, for instance. This was personal. Roland went after this man by name. Roland's gone after me by name. People hear me talk about Roland, they don't know Roland's done segments to his much larger audience saying, oh, Tim Black and these other dumb black media people like Tim Black and Tariq Nasheed and the Black Authority and this one and that one. He like naming like 6, 7 entities that could all whip his ass. All of them. I don't even know Black Authority, but I got a feeling he could whip Roland's ass. And for the record, y'all, and I never thought I'd say this. You never had a reason. And I'm going to try to say it not disrespecting the person who told me this. A couple years ago, a woman approached me about a story about her child being murdered. And she told me that she had approached Roland because she wanted Roland to cover the story. Roland wouldn't cover the story. He led her on and led her on and led her on. She said she was so disappointed. She met him in person to try to get him to cover the story. Now, I covered the story, but she said she was so disappointed that that's how Roland rolled. She had no idea that Roland Martin would disrespect her in this way. She wasn't asking him for money. She was asking him to help get the word out about her slain daughter. So, of course, I covered the story. I don't think she's the only one if it seems to me like Roland covers what gets him more publicity, what gets him more shine, what puts him in better favor with the DNC, what will put more money in his pocket, what ads he can sell, because he is selling ads. That I know for a fact. He is getting paid when he's talking about those people running on those different candidates. He's getting paid for that. He's picking up coins for what he does. So that's a different thing. That's a whole different category. I'm not here to roast Roland. I want to wake up people that listen to this dude. You know, when Jamal is saying, and I'm not here to speak for him, but when he's saying, hey, I want something for our vote from Kamala, we should not be supporting any candidate. He ain't just talking about Kamala. He would be saying the same thing about Bernie, and he has. He would say the same thing about Biden, and he has. He would say the same thing about any candidate. He would have the same criteria because he's riding for black people regardless of the party. It ain't about the party. It's about the policy, and it's about how it impacts Black America. Particularly Chicago, where he is an activist and an organizer and a member of the community. I don't feel the same way about Roland, man, because I know how he rolls. I've seen how he operates. He gives preferential treatment to the Democratic Party, and he shits on all the Republicans. His allegiance is to the blue. He'll say he's independent, but he's not, because he curries water for the independents. Why the hell would he get Tiffany Henyard, who is arguably one of the most disgusting flim-flam mayors that I'll say in my opinion, I'm not going to say allegedly, I say in my opinion, she's one of the most discredited, pathetic, corrupt mayors that I've ever seen in the last 20 years. She went on Roland Martin's show. He gave her a pass because she's a Democrat. Now, if she would have been a Republican, he would have cleaned her clock, not taken her word for anything. He would have destroyed her. He would have put out clips. This sorry ass, this crazy ass, this loudmouth ass, this dumbass. He didn't do that with Tiffany Henyard. You know, the one that's bankrupted a 90% black town in Illinois? Dalton, Illinois. Those are black citizens. Roland sided with her, a part of the power structure in Dalton. Not the people, not the working class people that live in Dalton that she's been pilfering money from the budget from. Their money. That's their taxpayer money for their town. So I peeped Roland Martin's game a while ago. Once again, political differences, that's fine. There's a lot of people I differ with politically. But I don't feel like Roland is in it for the reasons he portrays. And it's a shame that there are so many black people that listen to this guy, that think this guy, because he's been propped up by the establishment. First of all, if Roland was really fighting for black people, he would have never been able to work at CNN as long as he did. He would have never been able to work at News One the way he did. These other entities. If he was really, because you got to rock the boat if you're going to fight for black people. Fighting for black people is dangerous. Fighting for black people gets you, how can I say this? If you're really fighting for black people, we're going to see battle scars. We're going to see you like Tavis Smiley, out of a job. We're going to see you fighting to get, to build your own thing in a way where you are, where the establishment's not helping you. If I see you on MSNBC, I know you ain't fighting for the people because they ain't going to bring you on there. It's sort of like my same argument about these people that are clapping for Tim Walz and Kamala Harris. If they were fighting for black people, they wouldn't be there. Do you understand? They don't promote revolutionaries. They don't promote people who are going to rock the boat. They don't promote people who are going to stand up for Black people. And that's what we need. That is what's needed at this time. So look, I support Jamal Green and his ability, his purpose. I don't feel he went there to hurt Roland. If he went there to hurt Roland, he would not have went inside a church and sat through the entire service and then try to talk to him. He would have stayed outside, Johnson, and waited for Roland to leave. See, that's how shit goes down. But I got a lot of, if you don't understand how shit works, it would be nice if you be quiet. If somebody wants to do something to you, the last thing they're going to do is go in front of hundreds of people to confront you with a camera running. No, they would wait till you came outside and tuned your ass up, punk. Roland, keep people's name out your mouth if you ain't about that business. What I just said to you, what I'm saying on this video, I'd say to you and 50 Negroes that look just like you. Because I'm serious about mine. I'm seriously trying to help Black people get free. I only do political content, Goofy, because we need something for our vote. And you are a direct antagonist to that happening. You are a direct obstacle to Black people getting something for their vote. You want to get Black people to tone it down. You want us to fall in line. You don't want us to use our leverage. The only thing you want us to use our leverage for is to help you make more money on your ads. The only time you talk about leveraging is you putting money in your pocket. You'll do 5 segments on why you didn't get more ad revenue. But you won't do 5 segments on why the Biden administration or the Obama administration didn't do more for Black people. Instead, you'll do segments on defending them and call us simple Simons for even suggesting that we deserve something from a party that we've been voting for religiously for 60 years. So, hey guys, I'm not here to promote violence, but to me, Jamal wasn't being violent, he was being real. And if you're gonna say something, to a grown ass man, had the courage, man, had the ethics to be able to say that to his face. And also, if you're wrong, had the courage to apologize or to have the courage and the balls to say, hey, you're right, I shouldn't have said that the way I said it. He ain't the only one. I confronted Dr. Jason Johnson in 2020, same thing. 2019, same thing. He did the same thing, act all surprised. Oh my God. Oh God. With his pink blazer on. Pink checkerboard blazer. Holding court, running down progressives in front of a bunch of white people. Picking up buttermilk biscuits. Well, it is what it is. I kind of left that side of away. Anyway, you live and you learn. You grow, I grow. I grew a little bit. I realized, yeah, we can have health care. That'd be great. Medicare for all would be great, but we're gonna need some money to go with that health care. So I had to adjust. Roland Martin has not adjusted. How you gonna be in business 30 years and not adjust? All right, guys. That's it. Give it up for Jamal Green for confronting Roland. It was very cathartic to see someone confront Roland, to see Roland rolling out when it's time to stand on it. And all you had to do was hold a conversation. I don't know what you're running from. You know what? I saw Jim Clyburn, last thing. I saw Jim Clyburn show more heart than you, and Jim Clyburn, 80 years old. At least he would speak back. He'll talk back like, yo, what's up? Why y'all messing with me? Why y'all effing with me? I remember that. How many people remember when Jim Clyburn got tired of people confronting him about reparations? He just stopped in his tracks and said, why y'all messing with me? Why y'all keep effing with me? What is it? Not Roland. What? Who? All right. Yeah, man. Hey, look, there's always a line you should not cross unless you about that. Okay? That's it. That's the line. Maybe you thought Jamal was gonna do something to you. Jamal ain't trying to go to jail behind your ass. Yo, punk ass. Bleep, 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 bleep. Better sit down, folks. All right, next story, man. The DNC started their convention today.